As for Matthew, here we go.
As I was putting my lipstick
You don't know probably a lot about Matthew and Sarah when they first met. Some of you here, I'm sure, wouldn't know. I'll tell you a little bit about how it happened. Gail is a regular churchgoer, and many of you are here tonight, I think. I don't go particularly that much, but and when the kids ask me why I don't go, I told them, like Dad used to say to me, I know it all. Dad used to say that. Remember that? I don't have to go because I know it all. So I used to say that to them. She began attending a church over at the old Noongar Primary School. I think it was back in about 1997 maybe, Greg might remember. And Greg and Matthew and his family used to go, and Karen used to go there, and Rachel. And that's where they first met. In the beginning they were just friends going to Sunday school. In fact, I think Sarah didn't even like the skinny little kid with a little... That was a bit younger than her. She's a bit of a cradle snatcher. But as they started to grow up, all began to change and they became more interested in each other. And at the ripe old age of around about 15, they started becoming boyfriend and girlfriend. Is that right? Okay. When Gold told me this, that Sarah was sweet on this young boy from church named Matthew, I would stir Sarah up a little bit and say, how's that boyfriend of yours? What's his name? Marvin? Wasn't it Marvin? And she'd always say, no, not Dad, it's not Marvin, it's Matthew. It was too late as the name stuck, and I used to call him Marvin for a couple of years there. Now she tells me off for calling him Matthew. It's only Matt now, you've got to call him Matt. So, Matthew? Well, I thought it wouldn't last, just a teenage romance, and I thought it would soon fade away. Even though the girl used to say she thought they'd probably end up together, and she's right. So anyway, Matthew, at 15, used to skate over from his place, which is about 5k away. Would it be, Greg? Maybe? Or ride his push bike, a little push bike with like these wheels on the back, dragster type thing, from Seacon Meadows to Christie's Beach, just about every day. He'd always say he's come over to see Andrew here. But we knew he was coming over to see Sarah, so that was the main reason of his visit. I guess you could say, way back then, not so much now, I really gained another son, on top of the 4 kids we already had. And I'd say that Greg and Karen really lost their son back then. You reckon that's right? Our place got a lot busier, and at times I would have loved to swap places with Greg and Karen because a bit of peace and quiet would have been terrific. Dad used to say it's like a madhouse. I think it was like that in our place as well. As time went by and Matthew got a bit older, his voice got a little bit deeper than mine, started to become part of the family. By this time he had a better build than me. He was getting facial hair and getting taller, not a lot taller. Now he was either riding his motor scooter over or driving his car. So in the early days when Matthew used to visit, he used to knock on the door before he would come in, but within months he was just pushing the door open with his foot, just walking in like he was one of the family. Got that way, I didn't even turn around to see who it was. Someone would say, it's only Matthew, and even the dogs stopped barking at him. Matthew's parents, Greg and Karen, have done a top job in bringing Matthew up. He's always well-mannered and always the first one to offer to do the dishes and clean up and empty the takeaway food containers, pitching himself around the house. Thanks. Hang on a minute, I've got to stop right there. I can't tell a lie, Matthew. I've got to be honest. I can't say these things that you've given me, asked me to say. I'll give you back the $20 after the reception. You didn't do anything. But jokes aside, I must say over the years, I've seen Matthew grow up from a shy boy into a responsible young man. Well, that is, other than the few times he came home a little bit worse for wear after too many drinks, staggering around, slurring his words, nearly falling over, a bit like he is tonight. Or will be later this evening anyway. But I'm not sure if Greg and Karen know, but he used to sober up at our place and sleep it off on the lounge and head home the next morning. Well, don't worry, Greg, Karen, on the 20 or 30 occasions that happened, Gail would give a good talking to and tell him and he'd say it wouldn't happen again.
did a lot good there.
In my job as a real estate agent, I get a lot of calls on my mobile. Kevin knows all this. And sometimes it's difficult to catch people's names as they speak to me. And I remember this one morning I got a phone call from some guy with a shaky, deep voice all nervous, saying, "It's me, can I have permission to marry your daughter?" I thought, who the heck is this? Of course I thought it was a prank call. I soon realised it was Matthew trying to do the right thing and asked me for Sarah's hand in marriage. I was going to say no, but I thought, gee, he was that nervous I couldn't do it to him, so I said yes and put him out of his misery. Matthew? Sarah was getting ready to meet him. They were going to go to Victor Harbour for a day out. They had a special day planned. So whenever I was near her, I'd start singing this little song, by America, Adrian, I got this feeling today's the day. It's part of the lines in the music. And Sarah would say, "What does that mean, Dad? What are you trying to tell me?" Do you remember that, Sarah? What are you trying to tell me? I said I'd say nothing and just kept singing that little song. But I think she had an idea that Matthew was going to propose that day. There was a rumour sort of going around the house at the time, and Gail had warned me that Matthew might ask me for Sarah's hand, but I thought face to face. I didn't think she was going to ring me up on the phone. Coward. Well, from that point things moved along pretty quickly, and Matthew and Sarah, they needed somewhere to live, and once they married, so they needed a place to live once they married, and soon found a lovely unit back in Wolfen Vale. Karen and Greg and us as parents all went around and had a look at it and gave it our approval. It was still tenanted, and until July this year, and once the tenant moved out, Sarah moved in. So when Sarah moved out of the home, Gail started crying like mothers do.
Yeah, Gail.
I must say that I had mixed feelings, like the old joke, the definition of mixed feelings is seeing your mother-in-law drive your new car over a cliff. No offence to Gail's mother, who's not here tonight, but anyway. But with that thought in mind, in conclusion of my speech, I'm going to finish, I'm doing well. I'd like to say, Sarah, we're proud of you, and we love you, and we do miss you around the house. I always look forward to you coming over, but, page 10, but, since you've been gone, we've noticed a few things like, I've got a nice spare room I could use as a study, once we get all your things out of it, still a heap of things there. We use a lot less water in the house, especially at shower time. We don't have to pick up all your clean clothes off the floor in your room anymore and put them away, just like you said you were going to do for the last 3 years. Matthew can do that now. So use the floor as a wardrobe rather than the wardrobe that we had in the room. Is that normal, girls? I don't know. Yes? Okay. I can play my music loud now without having to turn my music over to Sarah's loud music. We use a lot less sugar. Sarah has about 5 to 10 spoonfuls of sugar in the cup. And the lawn's now growing back where she used to park her car, so there we go. In closing, I'd like to thank Matthew, I guess, and welcome him into the family. And I'm going to propose a toast now, so you can join me now in charging your glasses. If there's any drinks on the table. Do it right, dude. I might start soon. Tell me when you're ready. You ready? You can all stand up.
Yeah, next time.
We're going to toast to the health and the happiness, the bride and the groom. To the bride and the groom. Cheers. Thanks everyone. Enjoy the wedding. That's it for me.